Hey legends, welcome back to the Virtus Performance Podcast. Now today we had the wonderful Sam and Eliza Keck, supported by Murphy and Hazel Keck. They're two 8-month-old twins. Now for the regular listeners of the podcast, you'll be aware that we've done 2 episodes so far. One was episode number 72, where 6 months out from the twins being born, myself and the great man Tommy T interviewed Sam and Eliza and discussed their expectations, what they were excited for, what they were worried about, basically what they thought it would be like being parents. And then just before the twins were born, episode number... I shouldn't have got rid of my notes. Episode number 88, I sat down with the expectant parents and discussed how those expectations had changed and with the impending arrival of the twins, what they were most excited for and all those kind of things. So today, about eight and a half months on from that last episode, we sat down with the twins in hand and discussed what it's been like, what they're excited for the next 8 to 12 months, and a little bit of advice for future parents like myself. So, without further ado, please enjoy. My personal and business goal is to be just a little bit better every day. I believe everyone, especially normal people, have a story to tell. The Virtus podcast exists to help us all find small ways of consistent improvement by discussing the journey and experiences of each of our guests. Team, welcome. All 4 of you.
Hey.
It's been, how long since these 2 peanuts were brought into the world?
8 months. 8
months. Wow. So it's been 8 months since we did... I'll talk a little bit more about the context in the intro, but it's been 8 months since a little over 8 months since we did our last one, and probably 12 months since we did the first one. We chatted about what your expectations were, what the plan was, what you're excited for.
Yeah, I should have listened to it before this so that I could remember.
Yeah.
It'll be cool to be able to compare them.
Yeah. I guess that was almost the point, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The journey from ignorance into whatever the mess is that we're currently in.
Fill me in on that mess. What's it like having 2 beautiful babies?
Boobas.
Eliza.
It's good. Yeah, no, it's less different than I expected.
Yep.
So it's more exactly what I thought it would be like.
Okay.
Which, I was a bit surprised. Unless, I don't know. But it's lovely.
What's been
fun now.
the
Now
biggest surprise?
Ooh.
That's a really good question.
How much you can do without sleep.
That's
and also, like, it's like a massive experiment. Like, they do that to torture people, don't they? Like, just wake you up every half hour for 2 hours and then let you have another half hour sleep. That was like the first, 8, 12
just to give
weeks.
you a taste of what you're going to miss.
And then it was just like I got to a point where I wouldn't go to sleep because I knew I'd end up just
having to wake up again.
Soon, and that's almost worse, so I just never slept. And then that's fine when you're running on adrenaline for a bit, but after a while, you just become... the new norm.
Yeah.
It's a really weird feeling.
I remember I talked to, I think it was Wade, shout out. Where's the bell? I think it was him. Apologies if it wasn't. But he said, it was recently, and I was talking to him, and he's like, have you figured it out yet? And I'm like, what? And he goes, that people say, you'll get tired, but then you'll eventually, it'll be okay. And he's like, it's not okay because you get less tired. He's like, you just get used to being tired all the time, so it becomes normal.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's what they don't tell you. They can't even allude to it. First year you'll be really tired. Excuse me, Murphy.
Murphy's going to contribute, I think.
I think she will.
Hazel's going to contribute as well.
And and this is good for you, Wallace, because you're about to embark on your own little journey.
Well,
when
we did the last 2, I didn't know what was happening.
Yeah, you didn't. No. But it must have been close to conception.
Yeah, well, it would have been about the time. So
I feel like we can
maybe something we could work it out, but maybe something subconsciously. Maybe you want to conceive after having this last chat with you two.
You're welcome, KP.
Sorry, but it's been really cool from my perspective to have been able to have those conversations with you two. That everyone can jump back and listen to, if you haven't already. Episode number 72 was the first one, and episode number 88 was the second. To be able to have those two conversations with you guys, and then now be able to see you become parents and seemingly clock it. It looks like you're nailing it from the outside. What's it like, I guess, having two, but you guys don't know any different, but how's that change your perception of being parents?
That is a good question.
It reminds me of like playing a new video game. And you know how at the start you've got like the option of like easy, medium, hard, legendary.
Yeah.
I feel like we kind of just started the game on maybe hard, not legendary.
I thought you were going to give yourself a legendary status there.
No way, triplets, man.
I'll give you, imagine that.
True, that could happen.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, it's so you don't know any different, but you do know like last night or this morning, 5 o'clock, Murphy woke up, and then she woke Hazel up, and that was it. But like, so often one will wake up for some reason, and then just as you get them to sleep, the other wakes up. Yeah. And you're like, all right, we're doing that all again.
And then it's just bouncing back and forward.
And they have a good nap, and then that one So that happens a lot, and I do think, if there was one baby, that wouldn't happen. Yeah. Even a toddler and a baby, that wouldn't happen the same way. I don't think. But
that's what makes this situation unique, isn't it? First time, I guess, like twins are fairly prevalent. You guys will probably know the numbers.
Yeah. I think it's like, our type of twins is like, I think it's like,
wasn't it 1 in 600?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. But then actual twins, I think, maybe 1 in 100.
Yeah.
Like
and then for the first two as well, that obviously drops the numbers down. So.
Yeah. Well, if we have more kids, theoretically, our chances are significantly increased.
So
I'm genuinely like, it'll be triplets. And then I'll just kill myself.
He says on 3 hours sleep.
Yeah.
Sam sleeps.
Sam sleep. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Very bad hearing.
I'm actually a little bit scared of that, because I can kind of sleep through anything and KP can't. So I don't want to be a non-contributor in that aspect because I'm just not waking up.
You'll be woken up.
KP will kick me or throw something at me.
But it is frustrating that like I wake up and have to wake him up, so I'm up anyway. Yeah. Whereas like he gets to sleep through unless he gets woken up by me. Yeah. And he's like, I don't wake him up unless it's absolutely a nightmare. Yeah.
Normally you just wake me up to get
sleep.
them for night
recently.
Yeah.
Since they've been sick. They've been sick for 3 weeks.
Yeah, that must be tough having both of them.
Yes, Murphy.
This is the first 8-month-old on the podcast, so
oh, good.
Good job, Murphs.
Pod member?
Yeah, definitely. What do you wish? What do you wish you knew this time last year?
Your turn.
Because you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, I feel like it was about this time last year where I started realising that there were going to be a lot of people who were really excited and prepared to help out.
Yeah.
What do you reckon, Murph?
You helping out.
And so, I guess maybe I I thought that people would be really supportive. And so, but I wish I knew just how supportive they would be, and how much love and help, and like we go take the kids into Common Folk pretty much every day for a coffee, and you lose them. Like people just come up to you and grab them off you, and which is really good. In one way, really bad because you want to cuddle them and you don't get to, but it means that Eliza can go and eat some food and drink a coffee and
almost always I get a meal, and I don't think most parents get this. I get a meal where I can eat without the babies.
Well, I remember, Sam, when at your baby shower you were talking about how oh no, we were talking about how it is incredible to watch you two dealing with them wriggling and bouncing around in your hand.
ideas.
And you're swapping them and bouncing them around. But I remember in your speech how you spoke about, that it takes a village to raise a kid, and you're really appreciative of the village you've got.
Oh my gosh, we've got 10 villages left. We're so lucky. You've got common folk, you've got Virtus, we've got a great group of friends out of that.
Family as well.
And family.
Which is what a lot of people, some people don't even have that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
well, I guess you're lucky, but you've created, with the help of a lot of other people, that environment and that community to be able to provide support for not only you guys, but all the other families kind of going through the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, this is why I'm I just know that you and KP are going to, it'll be challenging, but you'll have such a great time because I know that, almost more than us, you guys are going to have so many people, looking to support you and help you. And I also know what you're like. You're going to be training with a baby strapped to the front of you. In front of you in a little thing. You probably already bought it. You probably got it ready to go. So.
Yeah, we got one of those coming. One of those little...
Yeah.
Probably still squat with the baby in front of you.
Yeah, you don't need a kettlebell, actually. Simple fast train.
Yeah, exactly. And
I do train at home often, where if I can't go to the gym, they've cracked it or something.
Yeah.
I know how much they weigh, so I just kind of do squats holding them out, and they
so
love it. Just before I was doing back rolls with them, holding them on, because they love it.
Yeah, that's
baby
cool.
exercising. Maybe we should run a class.
Oh, that's definitely a class. There's a class in that as well. So you could become a pioneer.
Liza, how have you going from training a fair bit beforehand to obviously when you were pregnant, you went through the wars a little bit there for a period of time, and then slowly getting back into training. Has it exceeded your expectations? How you've been able to get back into it, or what's it been like?
Yeah, I was actually thinking about that just today as I was doing the goblet squat.
Yeah.
That was the first time I've been able to do that.
Yeah.
Since I had the baby.
We're 8 months on, yeah.
Yeah, and I was thinking I'm not a particularly I'm fortunate in that I'm not as tied up in the whole self-worth in how I look.
Yep.
Compared to a lot of women get that pressure, and it's really hard to I have it a little bit like anyone else, but I'm pretty comfortable with my own skin. I kind of don't care.
Yeah.
But even still, it's like when you're sick and you can't do something, and then you're like, oh, I'm better. I want to do it again now. I feel better. But you're not. So it kind of did surprise me post babies. Everyone talks about 12 weeks or something, you can start exercising at 12 weeks or something like that. And you kind of expect that to mean you'll be back.
Yeah, you'll be back to where you were.
Weeks.
Yeah.
And then I was fortunate in the fact, because it's twins, I was able to give myself a bit more grace.
Yeah.
It's twins, so just, it's going to take a little longer, be patient.
Yeah.
But I think it's something twins or no, I think you said to me, Sam, that expect your body to at least take as long. It took 9 months for your body to change this amount. Expect it to take 9 months to change back the minimum.
I like that.
Yeah, but I mean that's not a scientific statement, but in my mind it makes sense. It's why would you expect? You remember how difficult it was to work through the pregnancy and how much strain your body was in.
You
it makes sense that you're
imagine
the
feeling of when your rib cage is physically moving back into position. It's pretty insane. I think about my actual rib cage was out there, and I remember the feeling as it was kind of crunching back into position. That's weird, right?
Yeah.
And it's okay, yeah. So because you have your ups and downs with days and stuff and frustrations.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, I should give a shout out to, and I was trying to work out, and then I realised, literally every single Virtus coach has been so helpful, and it's almost the day that I needed them to be this kind of, to push me a little, because I was too scared I'd hurt myself, or to tell me to chill out because I was pushing myself too much. Whatever it was, the person who was there that day just always had the right response for me.
That's cool.
It was so nice. So I was like, oh, yeah, I can't shout out any one coach because they have all...
Actually, that's one thing.
Good team.
Yeah, I think that's one thing Virtus might not even realise that it's good at. It's but for people who are, say, not gym people or not athletic people, or who are maybe recovering from an injury or have a really special need when it comes to their training, Virtus just automatically fits those people because of the attention you guys provide to your clients, but then also the fact that you try and build a relationship with every individual person.
Yeah.
You know, like, for example, me, I might have some things I'm doing poorly or some ways that I, you know, move that aren't perfect, but the risk is lower than someone, say, coming back from giving birth to twins, having split abs and all of these really individual requirements.
Definitely.
At another gym, even like CrossFit or even personal training, sometimes it's just like, here's the program, go and do it. With Virtus, it just can't happen. You guys will never let that happen.
Yeah.
And that's good.
You explain something, you show me how to do something, and then how many times have you had to show me again? Because I forget or I focus on one part of it, not the other. I think it's so easy.
And it's cool to hear, like,
yourself.
that's our job.
Yeah.
Is, as a coach, is to be able to adapt the program to the individual. And we run a group program with a program for everyone, but there's so many regressions and progressions, and I think that's one of the things that our team does really well, is everyone's been around long enough and understands well enough that there's 20 different ways to squat. There's there's so many different ways we can implement the same program that all we have to do is, when we haven't, and Hazel's just face planted into the couch.
Sam just let her.
Oh, well,
She's cannonball.
You
Her face stopped the rest of her body from getting really hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think that in itself, before anything else, we push community. Like, we want to be the best coaching experience possible. Before anything else, we push community, and that's an innate understanding of where everyone's at. So that's a really cool.
It's good.
Yeah.
Oh, well, and the other thing, I guess, being kind to yourself in coming back to training and stuff, but also trying to set, I think, something that someone would have told me along the way, but just keep trying a little bit. So, like, you know, the girls crack it, and I'm just like, let's go to the gym. Maybe they won't crack it once we're there, and then they crack it, and so I come for 5 minutes and leave, and I'm like, well, that sucked. And most people, I'd be like, you know, it's so much effort to get there. It's a full 45-minute process to get out the door
For 10 minutes.
For 10 minutes,
Yeah.
and then back another 15, 20 minutes to pack everything up again. But it's a habit type that even though it's not like every Tuesday I go, this is how we get in the car and the babies kind of get used to that.
Definitely.
And it helps kind of, it makes it easier. So, like, I guess if for all those about to have baby parents, I'd suggest is just kind of keep trying, and it's full on stressful and scary, and they're screaming and you're on alert and you're exhausted, but also, you know, that's fine. Just try again tomorrow.
Just do your best.
It's different for everyone too. Like, we're part of the the Mornington Peninsula multiple births sort of group thing, just because you know, it's just some support from people who legitimately get what you're going through. And like, we've been lucky because there's some people who, you know, like, it's so common to spend weeks, if not months, in NICU because of issues, you know, during the pregnancy and birth. And even when you get them home, for some people, it's almost impossible for them to leave the house. And, you know, we've kind of been in
a car that fits because they weren't expecting twins and they've got 3 older kids.
Or they're just so exhausted that they've, you know, it's not easy for them to mentally and physically to just get out of there. And it's and so we're really grateful, I guess, as well for the fact that we've been able to, you know, have even what we have, even though it's been difficult.
Did you guys set kind of like, whether you talked about it or whether it was just subconscious, you set an intention to try and get out of the house and to try and immerse yourself back into community and not...
Big time.
Yeah? Because it's definitely from our end, like, I'm talking to KP about it, we've trying to be aware of, we don't want to... Like, we'll do whatever we need to do, but we don't want to just sit at home. And I don't want KP to just sit at home. I want her to be able to get out and start getting back into a regular routine.
For me, it's like, I reckon, when I started at Virtus, motivating myself to go to the gym, like, I could do that because guys like Tommy T and Brownie and you were pushing me to go just to that one Tuesday afternoon. And, you know, when I got in the habit of doing that, it was easier for me to get in the habit of maybe going to a few more VGTs and getting involved. Because it wasn't natural to me. And I think it's the same thing, just getting out of the house when you're a new parent, is you have to find people who will encourage you to do it. You have to push through your desire to not do it, and then you'll find you're in the habit of doing it, and actually just becomes easier. Even though Eliza said it takes 45 minutes every time you do it.
Yeah.
Some people that's a hurdle.
Well, the babies don't scream.
That's too big a hurdle for me. But when you're used to it, you're just like, oh, that's just now how long it takes to get into the car.
Yeah, it's not a 30-second job anymore.
No. That's just the new normal.
Yeah, and something it's been really inspiring to see, like especially Liz rocking up at the gym in the morning, like. And not knowing, because we don't know, but somewhat trying to understand the journey you've gone through to get to that point in the mornings. Like, it's really cool to see you walking up the driveway with the twins in hand.
I forgot that, it is my new normal now and then, because Marcel started going.
Yeah.
He saw me, he was walking up to go to the 9:30 session. He's like, oh, see you there. I was like, yeah, because I'd just arrived.
Yeah.
And then I come in, 10 minutes later, I put the girls in the pram and everything. And he goes, oh, I thought you were lost.
Just doesn't realise what it actually takes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, no, but also, like Sam said, it's different for everyone. So kind of set expectations, but also be very gracious with each other and yourselves. Just if you don't, you're not going to always be able to do it.
Yeah.
And not everyone's extroverted. Like, we're both extroverts, so it kind of helps that we both kind of want to learn.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what suits. Like, I went to one of these, like, multiple things when the girls were about 4 months, and there was someone there who had 6-month-olds, and that was their 3rd outing.
Yeah, wow.
And I was just like, I would die. I've had about 2 days where I haven't left the house with the girls.
Yeah. Well, we took the girls to Coldflake before we took them home.
Yeah, that was bad.
I needed coffee.
Yeah,
So did you.
I'm sure you could have gotten any one of 30 people to deliver some for you.
Don't understand.
But also, good.
I was pretty wretched. That was silly.
How's it affected your relationship, having 2 kids?
We talk about kids a lot now.
Yeah.
No, but hear me out. You know how, like, parents become infuriating and all that you hear them talk about is their kids?
Yeah.
Like, it's because that's all you want to talk about.
Yeah.
Like, you love them more than anything in the world. And, like, kids are funny. Like, they develop and change so much quicker than adults do.
Yeah.
And so, like, there's actually always interesting stuff to talk about. Which is... And it's fun when it's your kid, because, you're... Like, there's nothing more fun than judging people's parenting, So judging your own is also fun, I think, and laughing at the dumb stuff you do, or, So, long story short, I think Eliza's, more incredible every day for what she does. And I don't think I've lost any love for her in the sense that we don't have time for each other now.
Yeah.
Because we're just sharing another common interest, which is like our beautiful little girls.
Yeah.
It's pretty, I find it funny every time it happens when the rare occasions the girls go to bed and I'm not so tired, I just go to bed as well. And we'll sit downstairs and whip out our phones and start going through photos of the girls. It's like, seriously, that's all I ever do.
Like at
And
first...
that's still all you ever want to do.
I think at first we were kind of like, oh, is this bad? And then I like, and you reflect on it, you're like, oh, is this overtaking, your relationship, and making you just this one-dimensional kind of couple.
Yeah.
But no, it's legitimately not. I still have other interests and everything. It's just that, like, together, it's just so nice to celebrate what you have. It's new and special.
Days,
yeah.
Like, because every day something different happens. Once they're like, 3 or 4 years old, I'm pretty sure it would be a little bit more like they're not doing a new thing every day.
Yeah.
So it might be a bit more normal then. I don't know. We'll find out. Come back in 4 years.
Is it weird to look at them and kind of say, like, this thing that I've created that is pretty much perfection in your eyes, like we created it? What's that like?
Hazel.
Yeah.
It's
Perfection,
for me,
Hazel.
it's absolutely surreal. Like, I know that they're my kids, but every night when no one takes them from our house to take them home, it's like, oh, these babies stay with us, like these humans.
Yeah.
It's genuinely trippy. Maybe more so as a dad, I'm not sure, because you didn't carry them, and so the first time you sort of really meet them is when they pass them to you at, delivery, and then like you're a dad, like
just like
it
that.
just happens. There's like obviously you're part of the process, the 9 months prior,
somewhat,
but only somewhat.
Yeah.
And so for me, I still don't quite feel like a parent, but I'm holding my kid.
She is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Lars?
Well, it blows my mind that like they still haven't been alive as long as I was pregnant.
Yeah.
Like, and how much has happened and like how huge they are.
Yeah.
They're huge kids. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's pretty. At first, it certainly felt like babysitting.
Yeah.
And I like babysitting. I used to always babysit.
It's like eternal babysitting.
And then it's just like babysitting and exhaustion, and that's it.
I think
but then as they're growing, and you'd find this. I found this in my relationship with Sam. I'm sure you with KB, but like as they're growing, as you're spending more time with them, you're more in love with them.
Yeah.
And it's not that you could have been more like right now. I can't imagine being more in love with them than I am now.
Yeah.
But I'm more in love with them
yeah.
than they were yesterday. So
yeah,
that's a really nice experience because it's kind of like accelerated. It's like having a new relationship again.
Yeah.
Except with dribbly,
poopy,
babies.
vomity babies.
Oh yeah.
What was the like? Take yourselves back to when you first took them home. What was the feeling like?
Oh, exhaustion.
Yeah.
But
exhaustion from you. Excuse me.
I'm still tired.
He left me the first night in the hospital that I had them to myself for the night. He went home. He said, I read a book that is better for one of us to be happy and not happy. So I was just up all night having just had twins.
And Sam was at home having a good sleep.
No, because at the hospital you have all the support you want.
Yeah.
Whereas when we take them home, you go to it yourself. That was the logic.
I reckon Sam's logic was,
logic.
I'm going to get one last good quality sleep in.
I didn't sleep because I was too excited.
Yeah.
I should have just stayed in the hospital.
Yeah, it would have been helpful.
I'll put that down in my notes. Stay in the hospital.
First night. You won't sleep anyway because you're just thinking about the baby.
Whereabouts are you guys?
Frankston.
Yeah. What else could I suggest? Can I turn this into an advice for you?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh yeah, well I was going to ask the second half of the podcast. It's just us
it?
feeling lucky, surely.
I'm definitely going to ask you all those questions.
Yeah, okay. Well, maybe I'll wait for that then.
Well, one thing I do want to ask is how did you decide on, and two, how did you agree on the names?
Oh.
Because like I'm sure I'm going to fuck up a lot of things over the next 18 years, but I don't want to fuck up the name.
Yeah, well,
you get one.
I'm constantly like, no matter what we chose, I'm like, they might resent you for choosing something really straight.
Yeah.
Or they might resent you for doing something a bit weird. So we went
I think we did. Yeah, we did one of each.
Yeah.
So it's more about who gets which
name.
name.
Wrong way.
Yeah. Well, that's another part of it for you guys. Like, how do you pick which one gets which name?
Yeah.
So we'd actually figured it out. So we had 4 girls' names and 4 boys' names because we didn't know what we were going to have.
And middle names.
And with middle names already set.
Yep.
And we both agreed on one of the names really early on.
Yep.
And then the second name, this was for girls, sorry. And then the second name, we had like a quite a big list, whereas with boys' names, we were struggling just in general which 2 names we really wanted.
Because your family have had 50,000 boys. They stole all the names.
And so I think in the end, we went with sort of 2 very different names so that each of the girls could have their own identity. Like it's not like Harry and Henry or something, which is fine. Like there's a lot of twin parents who do that, and that's really nice too. But we were really aware because they're identical, and because my dad's an identical twin, and I've seen sort of the dynamic with his brother and everything, and maybe. We wanted them to at least have an opportunity to be themselves, and so that sort of led towards 2 quite different names. Hazel, which is like a bit of an old school girl's name, and then Murphy, which is like basically a last name.
Yeah.
But I
or
really
a guy's name, evidently.
Apparently, because everyone thinks that she's a guy.
Oh, Hazel, you're alright. Thanks.
Yeah, I love the names. It was like I think you've done a really cool.
Likes Murphy. Every old person likes.
Yeah. You've
so we've appeased the boomers and the millennials.
Shout out to all the boomers. Yeah, because it's something like KP and I have every time the name conversation comes up, like we got a couple that we're starting to agree on, but especially girls' names. Like,
do you have different flavours? Like what are your angles? You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm not going to say.
Well, I won't say the names, but
I don't even know. There's a couple of like old school kind of names with the boys.
Yeah.
Because we still don't know what. Yeah, we still don't know what we're having. I've got like a little list because I use the baby name app Kinder.
Yeah.
And there was just too many, so I just made a little list in my notes on my phone, and I haven't.
That's
looked
what
at
we did. We had a shared notes.
I haven't looked at it for about probably 2 months, but there's probably like 2 or 3 guys' names that I like, and in terms of girls' names, there's one that I like.
Yeah.
KP doesn't like it.
Damn.
Apparently, there's
someone she
knows who's got a kid, and there's also a dog at the school that has the same name. So
literally the same thing happened with us for a girl's name. Eliza loved it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to mention the name because I don't want to ruin names for anyone, especially someone who's about to have a kid. But there was a person I went to school with who had this name that I absolutely hated. They were a massive bully. And were a real jerk, and I was just like, nah, I literally couldn't do it. Even though it's a great name, it's a name of like it's a famous name. The person who's associated with it is incredible. The whole story would make perfect sense for our personalities, but absolutely not.
Off air, you're going to tell me. I want to know.
I will. But it could be, I don't want to ruin it.
It might be on my list.
Because I like the name. But
it wouldn't ruin it for him that you knew someone who was crap with that.
Yeah, true.
Well, I had
it should. They were horrible.
Well, one of the lists that was... don't tell me that. One of the names that was on my list, someone close to us said it a couple of weeks ago, and I just looked and I said, please don't repeat that, because like KP doesn't want to, and I'm not telling KP which name it was.
No, of course not.
But KP doesn't want someone else to have picked the name, which I completely understand, and like it's actually been really funny. I've kind of been teasing her a little bit about it.
Well, I mean, as a general rule, unless you're going to make up a name that's never been used before,
I
don't recommend doing it.
It's getting it from someone.
You're going to be getting it from someone, But I do get it. You don't want, like, Uncle Sam to be like, oh, well, I named your child.
About halfway through.
Because I will do that if you name it.
Yeah, a couple of months ago, her mum was like messaging her names, and she said, "Mum, I love you. Please stop."
Yeah. Wow. Because if you do pick a name that I already like, I can't do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you doing like any callbacks to family names or anything, middle names?
Well, that's we've got to keep diving into this conversation, like me and KP, because so my pa was. So Dad's middle name was my pa's name. My middle name is my dad's name.
Yeah.
But I don't really have any interest in having my kid's name as my name as a middle name.
Yeah.
But I would like, if it's a boy, I would like it to probably be my dad's name.
Yeah. Okay.
If KP is happy with that, but yeah, I'm still worried about the Christian name, not the middle name. I think when we nail the Christian name, we'll pick the middle name.
Yeah, well, my theory was always middle names, like, especially for Murphy, because it's a bit unusual. She can go by Joy, which is a bit more traditional.
Yeah, if she wants.
If she wants, so...
I don't think she will.
That's my theory.
She's a mad dog.
She is a mad dog. Oh, look at them, they're both falling asleep.
Oh, this is so tranquil.
How often does this happen, both of them asleep at the same time? She's
Good
just
question.
cruising.
So they're not very great at sleeping during the day.
Yeah.
Mainly because I throw them around. We're out and about all day.
Yeah.
But they probably sleep half hours, and you're meant to sleep like 2 hours. And depending, so...
They just don't want to.
Well, no, like one might, like what's just happened to you, one might be 15 minutes later than the other, and then I'll get maybe 10 minutes before the other one wakes up. Or
awesome.
So I can quickly have a shower. So maybe that happens twice.
Has the last 8 months gone quickly, or?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, get ready for the fastest year of your life.
Yeah?
Like, I mean, starting a business, which we've both done, like things just snowball and you find yourself like 6 months, 12 months, 4 years. And you're like, where did that go? But this has been ridiculous. Like, I remember Eliza being pregnant, let alone having the babies, let alone the fact that they're 8 months old. They're about to have their first Christmas, and, they're starting to like try and stand up and they're crawling around. It's trippy. But then at the same time, and this is actually really nice, I think, when you're in the moment and when you're holding one of them, or when you've been woken up in the middle of the night and you have to attend to it, it can feel like it's going for ages,
Yep.
and you feel like it's Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
And you can choose then either to really enjoy and embrace that,
Yep.
which I've really tried to do,
Yeah.
or, resent it because you're like, oh, this is my life now.
Yeah, what's the saying everyone says about parents? The days are long and the years are short.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's interesting.
But you can appreciate both. So
Yeah.
I think that, if you can live in the now, you can really experience all of the joy and the tiredness and
appreciate
everything else that comes with it.
I'm going to leave you with the kids for a night on your own before you keep saying this.
Well, you won't let me. I said do it, but you got to feed them.
The way I kind of articulate it, like hitting 4 years of Virtus, is like it's gone really quick, but so much has happened.
Yeah.
And I can remember, like, go back into like each day, like every day so much has happened, but at the same time I feel like it's just like gone like that, and it's 4 years down the track. What are you guys most excited for the next 8-12 months?
I'm really excited for them to like interact with each other more.
Yeah.
They look at each other a lot, they steal each other's toys a lot.
Yeah.
But they're not really playing with each other or talking to each other yet. Just like 2 days ago, they were kind of looking at each other and doing their baby talk thing, but I don't think they were quite there yet. I'm super excited for that. I think that's going to be really fun, and also it's like how people look forward to walking and crawling and stuff, and then you're like, oh.
Yeah. Now they can't keep them in one spot.
Yeah, but I think they're going to like cause all sorts of mischief when they can like work it out together.
Just get a little tether time together.
I will. And put Pavlov in the middle, so
Yeah.
there's a three-way like, leash.
How old were you when your twin sisters were born?
Do
you remember it?
No, not really.
I was going to say, because I'd be curious to know what your thoughts are when they start interacting. Because a lot of people say sort of 10 months to a year.
It's like, I know it's definitely weird because like when they were really little, maybe like 10 weeks old, I don't know. But I remember distinctly they looked at each other for the first time, like actually.
Yeah.
And one of the very first laughs they ever did it, and they both laughed. And
That's
I was
cool.
like, whoa.
That's hectic.
But then
You're weird.
they haven't
looking.
done that yet.
Shit,
Oh no, you look the
like
same
me.
as me.
Damn.
Yeah.
What about you, Sam?
I'll definitely reciprocate what Eliza just said. I can't wait to see their relationship develop.
Yep.
And be slightly jealous of it.
Yeah.
Because for most first-time parents, the time spent with a young child is building a relationship with them, but our kids will probably build it with each other first and foremost.
Yeah.
That's okay. And that would be cool. But then also, and I know everyone says, I've just talked about appreciating the moment and living in that. But then if I am going to look to the future, I can't wait to, see what they want to talk about, what they're interested in, the ways that they're different.
Yeah.
All of that stuff is just so exciting. It's sort of like, on one hand, I want to wait for that and let it happen in its own time. And on the other hand, I'm so excited for when it does happen to see what it is.
Yeah.
And I think I really enjoy just being with them and taking the time to just be their dad and give Eliza a break as well, because she's done continuing to do such an incredible job, but it's so exhausting for her. But it's limiting how much I can take them off her because she's still feeding them both, and almost more for her sake, less than theirs now, because if she doesn't, things get
Mastitis.
things get nasty.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind. And that'll wind down sort of over the next, few months or so.
I think, the next few months. I mean, they've been sick now for a month, really, and so I think once we come back from Burma, they'll probably have.
Yeah, fill me in on the next few weeks. What's planned?
Well, I'm going to sleep like an absolute. I say sleep like a baby, but I don't know why that's an expression because I don't know last time you checked. I'm going to sleep like I did 10 months
Sleep
ago.
like a dad. Yeah.
So I'm heading off to Uganda to visit the crew at Zakukabora. Shout outs to those guys. And with Tommy T and Andy Dell to do some work on the coffee farms. And Eliza basically said to me, well, fuck that. If you're going overseas, I'm going overseas.
I love that so much.
It was in the peak middle of July was the hardest month because
the long dark winter nights.
Awful winter. I always hate winter anyway.
Yeah.
And then I got quite sick for that whole month. The girls didn't, thankfully. Good old breastfeeding. But
yeah.
I just, like, I still remember, like, shivering. I had this awful temperature and I'm just patting them both in their beds, trying to get them to both sleep. Oh, it was, like, the worst night of my life. But, and that's when Sam was like, booking my flight to go away. And then I found out my parents were going away at the same time for a holiday. And I'm like, no, you don't.
I'm coming with you.
I'm coming with you. I have a brother who lives in Burma, so I'm going to go visit him. And probably experience their first earthquake. There's been a few in Burma the last few days.
Well, it's funny, I think on the previous podcast we'd said how we wanted to do like a significant experience or trip every year of their life if we could, because it was something that was important to us. I never thought that it would be Burma at 8 months, but
it's going to be an interesting
lucky girls.
Flights.
They probably won't remember it.
No, they won't.
Everyone else on the plane will.
Probably.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting to be able to have, I guess, have the capacity to be able to take them.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, well, if I didn't have my mum, I couldn't.
Yeah.
Although technically I can now. Early on in the piece is when it would be easier to fly.
Yeah.
Because A, they're smaller, B, they sleep more, and C, they're more portable.
Like
they're more happy to sleep wherever. Whereas these guys are starting to, they know their names, they know what they like and dislike, so it's a bit harder to trick them into doing stuff you want. But I physically, and that was part of that whole, in July, I was like, I just want to go somewhere warm. And I was stuck because you can't fly with 2 babies with 1 adult.
Yeah, okay.
Until they're old enough you buy a second seat and they can sit in a car seat that you bring with you. It's this whole thing. And so, I just felt very trapped.
So, do these 2 fly for free?
No, it depends on the airline.
Yeah.
We go Malaysia Airlines, so they're, I think,
it's like $100.
Oh, easy.
Yeah,
cool.
So, Patagonia next year for Hugh Wallace and Little Sammy.
Little Sammy.
Yeah,
I don't know how KP will think about that, but I do, I think something similar, like that's one cool experience every year of their life as a family will be pretty exciting. And I think I don't want to not do those trips that we would have done together or separate. Obviously, it changes the trip. It's a different trip, but at the same time, it doesn't mean you can't not do it.
That's what someone said, that holidays, once you've had kids, shouldn't call it a holiday. You should call it a break, change of scenery.
Change of scenery, yeah.
Because you're still doing everything you normally do. I think Sam got more tired. We had our first holiday a few weeks ago, drove up to Baden Bay. I think Sam got more tired on that holiday than
it definitely did.
Because I was like, well, fine,
you're
on
working.
holidays, you're not working. I'm waking up when I wake up.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't.
Fair enough.
To be fair, I didn't even wake him up all the time. No.
Well, did you wake up more than that?
But yeah, so it's still pretty exhausting.
Definitely.
It's still like, wait, what? Why am I working on my holiday?
Yeah. What was it like, obviously running a business, taking time off, but then going back to work? That's a question for both of you, because obviously your experience with Eliza would be different to Sam's.
I was a bit worried about it. Not so much taking the time off, because it had been a long time coming and everyone knew I was going to take 6 weeks off, which was a hard 6 weeks. It was something that we were both really passionate and convicted about, that we wanted to spend that time together. And so that happened, and the team were great. Like, shout outs to everybody at Common Folk who basically not just did their job but excelled at it. But then going back was probably more scary. Trying to navigate leading a really, growing business that's still, in my opinion, young and has so much more to achieve and to accomplish and to do, whilst being really split with my priorities. Probably more than ever before. So, it was easy for Eliza to understand why I would spend long nights doing something, or why I'd be, working 6 or 7 days a week instead of the 5 that she wishes I would work.
She wanted to go back to sleep. You just set her up.
Oh.
She's up. You woke her up.
And so I didn't know how I would navigate that space or what I'd be like. And so what it's probably been has been a year of compromise on both levels. On one hand, realizing that I can't do as much as I previously might have done from a work point of view, but still being responsible for leading our team and making sure that business as usual happens, but also we grow, and we've done some crazy stuff. Like we've separated our one entity into multiple entities to better reflect what we do. We've acquired businesses, we've lost significant people and then hired new ones, and that still has to happen, and I still have to lead that. But on the other hand, my priority, that is my family and Eliza and the girls, and also not like, it's so hard to leave for work now when they're sitting there on the ground looking at me going like, oh, don't go, in their minds. It's really tough. But knowing that actually, like, part of loving them is doing that and being responsible for their well-being from that perspective. And it's been strange. I'll see if I can think of a better way to describe it. But that's probably the best way to put it, is that you need to get used to compromising, because there's two things that you're going to love and you can't give them all your attention.
Has it helped you working for yourself, effectively?
That's helped or hindered?
Yeah.
Because of my personality type, probably helped, because I'm okay working sort of independently and being self-motivated. Like, I have a lot that I want to do and I'll do it, which means that it's been easy enough for me to still focus on certain things that need to get done without dropping the ball. But then also then going, well, I can take time off to go and do this thing with the kids, because I know that I'll do that little bit extra later on to cover off things I might have missed. If you were the kind of person who could only really focus on one thing at once, I think that running your own business would be really difficult, because you probably feel like you were... My beard is in very grave danger of being ripped out. You probably feel like you were not achieving anything because you need to be in two spaces.
What about you, Liz? How did things change after that first 6 weeks?
It was probably a more intense 6 weeks. Like, the change was more intense than anticipated, because 5 weeks after they were born, my mum was in a bike accident and broke her jaw and arm a bunch, and she was like out of it, which meant my dad was out of it taking care of her, and they were kind of earmarked to kind of swoop in at that 6 week mark and help me. But and so it was a bit of a baptism by fire, me with these tiny babies on my own, but at the same time it was really, I got used to it quite quickly, and they became, well, it just becomes, it was quite good, because I kind of went, okay, I can do this on my own. And then once, my parents started being able to help again and stuff, it was just like an added bonus rather than, like,
I need this.
You knew you could do it.
Yeah, I knew I could do it. And that was kind of, it was really good.
Yeah.
I mean, it was nuts intense, but yeah.
Have you missed work?
Yes and no. I still keep up with people from work, so that kind of helps. But also, I know I've been doing a bit of like, I think earlier on it was harder.
Yep.
But like, we still do a few, like, we're on like a finance board for a local charity, and like going to those meetings and providing some input there. And I've been doing some work with RMIT in a mentoring program there, which is kind of, it's just makes me, I'm talking about adult things, there's no babies attached to me, and it's quite nice. Even though it's very, you very quickly realise that your brain...
Murphy just vomited a little bit.
Tissues?
Yeah.
That's alright, well, it's got tissues.
Your brain kind of
Thanks, Murph.
is not where it once was. Hey, Chin, do her first. Jeez.
She insight into Sam's parenting style.
Yeah, she's so tired, Sam. She was meant to stay asleep.
She'll fall back asleep. Hopefully.
It was 20 minutes. Today she's been doing 20 minutes. But yeah, no, so that's fine. I'm looking forward to going back equal parts with, it's going to be full on. And
yeah, what's the timeline? When are you looking at going back?
Feb, March.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, cool.
So yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah, because KP's taking effectively a year off.
Yeah. A year from...
so she's going back term 4 next year. So I think 47 weeks or something like that. So she so
I think that's really good.
the last term we'll kind of just see how things are working. She might do some CRT work or something along those lines. But yeah, I'm really excited. I'm excited and equally parts intrigued to see how she goes, because she's not a sit at home, do nothing kind of person. So she'll be able to explore different things and help out, I'm sure, with a bunch of the stuff that we've got going on and a bunch of stuff that a few friends have got going on.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, it's going to be, I think it's going to be really interesting to see how she deals with it. I'm excited for that. All right, now the big question, or next probably 45 minutes worth of the podcast. This is the last question I'm going to ask, so you guys can take it as deep as you want. What advice do you have for new parents or soon-to-be parents, or me?
Yeah. Murph's got some advice. I feel so... what's the word? Can't even my brain's struggling. I wouldn't want to like tell people do something this way. Because everyone's different. But I know you're a little bit lost, so I'm much more happy to give you advice than I would just go give general parents advice.
Good.
I think, and also because we're probably similar in many ways, doing similar things with our lives. It's so important, I think, to look after KP and look after your child initially. In whatever way they need you to, not in the way that you think you should. And you won't do it all the time, but if you listen, you probably do it more often than not. And it means that Virtus just can't be a priority in the way that it previously has. The good thing is, similar to me, you're lucky that you've got such an incredible team of people, many of whom will probably be more confident looking after Virtus in your absence than you would be. You doing it whilst also trying to dad at the same time.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, she's falling.
jeez.
She vomited all over you. She's sick.
We might have to
Yes, poor Murph.
Poor Murph.
My advice would just be let people do things that they're good at to support you, and you just be there and be okay. Be there and be okay with just being there, and just being ready to help, not even necessarily doing anything, I reckon.
Yeah, I like that.
Eliza, do you think that would be useful?
Listen is a good one as a partner. Yeah.
I've kind of left it pretty open with work, and almost intentionally so, just to kind of like let things happen as they need to happen. I don't know, I was thinking of kind of setting dates and expectations about when I'm going to be back and all that kind of stuff, but I think I'm going to, I'm very fortunate that with the team we've got and with the time of year it is, that we'll have a little bit of flexibility around when and what it actually looks like. But it's all up in the air. Who knows how things are going to go.
Yeah, and that's, one, you don't know how your child's going to go. Like these girls are identical, and yet they're
so
different. Yeah.
Which is really great in the sense that you can...
Can I help?
I got it. You're just going to...
I think KP got the same nappy bag.
Probably.
It's like the Rolls Royce, apparently.
There's 500,
it looks similar.
Yeah, it's good having a backpack as your nappy. But anyway, or at least when you've got two kids. I don't know, maybe it's different with one. But, sorry, what was the question?
Advice for new parents. Or advice for me.
Advice for you guys. Yeah, that's a bit easier, because it's... I was talking to KP the other day, and she said something. I was like, yes, it's true. There's a difference between advice and opinions.
Yeah.
And I think take on all the advice you can.
Yeah.
Take from it what you want. I say give advice, and don't feel forced into someone's opinion.
Yeah. That makes sense.
To do something.
It's probably
like I said, they're identical. Yeah, I have to do things slightly different to get. She's a talker, so she enjoys music and things. This one's a bit more physical, so I do lots more physical activities with her, and to get them to sleep, I have to do different things. And,
people have opinions never use dummies, and then other people will be like, always use dummies. Yeah. And then there'll be people breast is best, and if you don't breastfeed, you're a horrible person. And then there'll be other people who are like, never feel shamed in breastfeeding. In fact, if it's difficult, you shouldn't even do it. And it's like, their opinions, not really advice. And it's up to you and KP in particular, because it's her body,
100%.
What to take on board. And I reckon then maybe this would be advice for you from me is going to bat for her first and foremost before you going to bat for other people's opinions. And I don't know what KP's perspective is, but Eliza's been really, keen for me to share my thoughts and stuff as well with her, and we always discuss things.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's no one else's business. Bugger off. And that goes all the way from people our parents, all the way through to people who we don't even know. I'll tell you what, though, there's a lot of unsolicited advice, from people who don't even know who you are. That's almost funny.
We've almost noticed that beforehand, before it's even happened.
Yeah.
My favourite one for Eliza, someone in a shopping centre said to her, "Oh, twins! That's really lucky. It must be so much easier than one."
And they were both screaming while she did it, which made me even more surprised. I was like,
which was just funny. I was like, what?
Yeah. I think she meant when they're older.
Maybe.
It'll be easier.
Who knows?
Because they can talk to each other.
Who knows?
I do not know. I was too tired and frazzled because I was trying to take 2 babies.
Yeah.
Also, people never, if I'm walking them in a pram by myself, or if I have them by myself, with the exception of other dads, especially twin dads, or old men, no one stops to talk to me. I think it's I thought that I'd be stopped all the time.
Because I'm stopped literally every 2 minutes.
No one talks to me. Maybe it's my beard or the fact that I'm 6'4".
You're very intimidating human.
Yeah.
Someone did think he was homeless the other night when he was walking home.
Yeah, that's true. So, in their defence, I looked homeless. So, that was really nice. I think did I tell you this story?
No.
It's just for anyone out there who's lost faith in humanity. Let me just share a story that hopefully rekindles a little bit.
Good.
It was the first really hot night.
Well, I've got one more question on the humanity part.
Awesome. It's the first really hot night of the season and of this year, and it would be the first night over sort of 30 degrees for these girls.
Yep.
And they weren't sleeping, so I put them in the pram, grabbed the beer, chucked on my Virtus singlet.
A beer?
Yeah, a couple of beers.
Yeah. He took an entire wine cooler.
I love that.
Attached it to
and then attached my dog, and my dog, he's a bit of a mutt, so and then went for a walk down to Mornington Pier.
Yeah.
I would have looked interesting. And an old dude with his young son who was fishing on the pier walked up to me and he just tapped me on the shoulder. He said, "Oh, just wanted to ask, are you okay?" And I was like, "Oh, no, I'm fine." And I, my girls wouldn't sleep, so I went down for a walk and all this kind of thing. And he said, "Oh, cool. I didn't mean any offence. It's just that, we thought maybe you were homeless and I wanted to offer you somewhere to sleep."
Oh,
and I was
wonderful.
like, I'm not. But isn't that the nicest thing?
This is local business leader Sam Keck just being asked if he's homeless on Mornington Pier. That's wonderful.
Oh, I looked homeless, but I just thought it was really like a ballsy move from this guy who wasn't a big guy, and with his son there to just check to see that I was okay. He saw that I had kids, I guess.
Yeah.
I thought it was really nice. It was the nicest thing a stranger had said to me, I think, since we'd had the kids.
Yeah, that's really nice.
So there you go, man. Like people out there looking out for people still.
I think that's a really important thing. Is that the big things I've got out of this is just everyone wants to help, and people are always willing to let
just say yes.
And just say yes.
Yeah.
Have you guys been able to accept help?
Yeah, we were told very early on by the twins group that you might have a single baby and you might want to go it alone and you might survive. You might. With twins, every time someone offers, even when it's that obligatory, if there's anything we can do to help, just ask. Just say, well,
actually do this.
Good.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, can you hold the baby while I go change the other one? They shut themselves.
Yeah.
So just say yes.
Yeah.
And people learn really quickly not to offer for help if they know you're going to say yes and they don't really want to give it. But the offers pretty much still keep coming in. So people really do want to help. They do.
I think that's especially important. Most women are meant to be able to kind of do everything, and especially parent, that's what we're made for. And so it's like accepting help can be a bit counterintuitive.
Yeah.
And there were a few times where I've said, no, I'll be fine. Because I almost always say, we'll be right.
Yeah.
And Sam's like, no, do that.
Yes, please.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my dears. She's sick.
My question that I'm not exactly sure how to word is going to be the last one, so these guys can go home and go to sleep.
No, they're just getting they had their half hour.
With the current how can I put this? The world's a little fucked up at the moment, and it's seemingly going the wrong way. How does it make you feel now, not only having to worry about yourself, but having to worry about these two, about what the future looks like?
That seems to the children future type rhetoric seems to be in the media a lot with climate change stuff. So it's on everyone's mind at the moment, I think, like in the public. But no, it hasn't changed too much for me, because I know that I can at least do this little part to make these people little good people.
Yeah.
And so I'm quite comfortable with that.
Yeah, awesome.
And, you know.
Yeah, the future's going to need leaders or people who have, you know, who have like a good perspective on the way that they can interact with the world and the people around them. And I think that's really important. Like, so we're both really passionate environmentalists.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, people are saying, we didn't want to have kids because we didn't want to add to the problem. But if the only people having kids were people who didn't give a shit, then it's going to get worse.
Yeah.
And definitely. So I'm really proud of the current generation of sort of kids coming through, the Gen Zers or whatever they're called, and their passion for, you know, like pushing back and just saying, no, we're not going to accept. We're not going to accept what you've given us. We're going to change it, and if you guys don't want to be involved, that's on you. But we're not going to stop it. I mean, I kind of I think that's so admirable, and so I just hope that we can instill a little bit of that in these girls, and that they can be, you know, whatever they will be. They don't have to be, you know, Greta Thunberg or whatever. They could just, you know, be, you know,
Hazel and Murphy.
What is that?
But hopefully that they can help create a society that starts fixing some of the stuff that we've sort of let happen.
Yeah.
And then starts tackling problems that right now aren't even, you know, like on the horizon. And, you know, can help create a world that we do want to live in and that is, you know, provides opportunity for everybody.
I knew I'd get an optimistic answer from you too.
Yeah. Well,
I knew it. I love it.
I don't think anyone who's going to be, like, having children are pessimistic about the future of the world. Because otherwise you wouldn't want to have a kid.
Yeah.
And we knew that when we, you know, tried to get pregnant, that, you know, there's a chance that things will be tougher for our kids than they were for us, than they were for the generation before. But then there's also a chance that things are going to be better.
Well, it's consistently gotten better over the last few centuries. And the thing that always perplexed me is the older generations kind of saying, talking about back in my day, things were worse. It's like they're almost upset that we're making things better for the future generations. Like, isn't that the whole point of this thing?
Maybe we'll be those people when we're older.
Maybe
because it seems to be something that's gone through forever. I can't remember who it is, but some famous philosopher.
Aristotle.
Was it Aristotle? Who,
or Plato was one of the Greek guys.
Was complaining about, you know,
kids are lazy, they don't want to learn, they don't spend time researching and reading. And this is the ancient Greeks. It's
2,000 years ago.
Damn kids invented democracy.
It's a bit of an interesting, maybe we'll be like that. Maybe it's just human nature.
I'll tell you what it is. I always try and do this. It's because it's the thing that next generation picks up and runs with that you didn't see coming.
Yeah.
So, you know... But
also it's because our brains are wired to forget bad memories much faster than good memories, and so the past
hence the good old days.
Better.
The good old days,
you know, back when, you know, World War II was going on and, you know... women couldn't work. You know, all that kind of...
Child mortality rates were soaring.
Really high. You know, illiteracy was really, you know...
Well,
prevalent.
I mean, you know...
Yeah.
We live in the best time that's ever existed, and hopefully it gets better.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you for coming on. Thank you for taking an hour of your day to show me how parenting twins looks like with both of them. They've been bouncing around. You've swapped them about 6 times.
Yeah.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
No worries. Good luck.
Yeah. You won't need it.
No.
We got all you guys to lean on.
Mm-hmm.